is what the judge said.
Okay, Frank Graney at Portlaoise Circuit Criminal Court. Thank you very much for that. The heartbreak and trauma visited upon the families of road traffic victims very much brought into sharp focus by the Tracy Families Victim Impact Statement, and you could still hear the pain present in that little bit we heard from Gillian Tracy outside the court talking about her son and the message that needs to go out about drink driving. Another mother who knows that pain all too well is Donna Price, whose son Darren was involved in a fatal collision on the N6 near Tyrrell's Pass in 2006. Donna has gone on to establish the Irish Road Victims Association, and she's on the line now. Donna, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jonathan.
Can I ask, first of all, for your reaction? 7.5 years for a drunk driver who killed a 4-year-old boy. Is that enough of a sentence?
Well, we have to ask ourselves, does it reflect the fact that a life has been taken here and the quality of Gillian's life has been altered? Has justice been served? The conviction in this case, it's a dangerous driving causing death conviction, which is a homicide offence, so it is a serious crime to be convicted of. But a 7.5-year sentence, you have to ask, is that long enough? Is it sending out the right message?
You've been calling for changes in the laws about how fatal road traffic accidents are prosecuted. How do you want it done differently?
Well, what we're seeing is a very small percentage of all fatal collisions resulting in charges of dangerous driving causing death. Quite a few are simply dealt with by summary offences such as careless driving or maybe just drink driving on its own, with no mention at all of the fact that a death or serious injury may have been caused.
And in that circumstance, the judge today was calling for longer sentences for dangerous driving causing death. Something people might not realise is that there are maximum sentences at present for careless and dangerous driving. Is that something that should change?
Absolutely. For instance, I mentioned there, we've had cases where cases prosecuted for careless driving where a driver might have had 90-odd previous convictions, and the judge's hands have been tied in this district court to a maximum of a 2-year sentence. And this is certainly not justice for a family who have lost a loved one in a crash. And it's happening much too often. We have to focus on the fact that, just because our loved ones are killed by a car, it doesn't make their death any less of a death. And the criminal justice system must reflect that. Road traffic offences, for instance, shouldn't be heard in the lower district courts. When we're talking about reckless behaviour, which is putting our families at risk on the roads, they should be dealt with in the higher courts, and the judge's hands shouldn't be tied.
We are a great nation for wringing our hands and tut-tutting when we hear about something like this and condemning those who drink drive, but then people tonight inevitably will get behind the wheel of the car after consuming alcohol. What do you say to someone who has some drinks this evening and is thinking of getting into their car and driving home?
Well, if anybody is still thinking about it, it's completely unacceptable. They're very selfish. They're driving recklessly on the roads. They're putting your family and my family at risk. It's totally socially unacceptable at the moment to drink or drug drive or to text while driving or any other reckless actions that you might consider taking on the road. You have to reflect on the consequences that your actions will have